Moving on. So question number 6 here comes in from Charles. Hi there, Charles. Thank you for your question and for being part of the amazing WiggyWam community. So Charles says, I've just had a survey done on a house which has picked up that there's damp coming through the ceiling of the first floor. What should I do about getting some quotes on repairs so I can show these to the seller and the estate agent? I think it's going to be quite an expensive job to fix, and no one mentioned anything about it before I put my offer in. Okay there, Charles. Well, thank you for that question. Interesting that you've had this survey done and you suggest that there's some damp coming through on the ceiling of the first floor. Now, as it's a house and not an apartment, I'm going to suggest that this sort of source of water ingress is either coming in through the roof, which might be an area through the guttering, i.e., gutters are full of rubbish and they're filling full of water, and that water is then splashing back against the property in some respects, or more commonly, which is to do with a defective flashing around a chimney breast or a chimney that's going through the roof. That tends to be where the more common problems congregate of these sorts of nature, which is related to damp problems on ceilings in the first floor. Okay, it's quite common. Sometimes you'll see it on properties where there's yellowing to the ceiling or to the chimney breast itself in the first floor bedrooms, etc. So what I would do is I would just, in this sort of a situation, I'd talk to a timber and damp specialist and I get them to come out and do a paid for survey on the timber and damp elements of the house. Okay, it may well be that the water ingress, the reason I mentioned a timber and damp specialist is because there may well be some problems with water ingress which has caused problems to the roof timbers, and that may not be immediately available, which is why I'm suggesting you have an expert look at it who can look at whether or not there's any fungus growing in the roof timbers, any signs of either dry rot or wet rot starting to take place. That might be a bit extreme. It might just be a few droplets of water that's coming in that's causing this damp issue, but I just want you to be on the safe side so that you're not going to end up in a situation where you're going to have to spend thousands of pounds on doing major roof repairs in the future if this has been particularly problematic. Now, one of the things you could do, Charles, is you could stand further back from the front of the property and use a pair of binoculars and inspect around the chimney breast, if there is a chimney coming through the roof there, or inspect the roof itself to see whether or not there's any missing tiles, or see whether there's any obvious signs of missing flashing, or whether or not, which is quite common, the flashing around the chimney is what we would call cement fillets. So sometimes I have seen it where builders have just mixed sand and cement as mortar, and then they've just put a mortar bead around the join line between the chimney breast and the roof, right? And that's fine, because on day one, when they do it, the mortar sticks to the tiles and the brickwork, and so it forms a nice uniform fitting around the chimney breast. But the problem is, over time, is that area is constantly exposed to the worst kinds of weather, heating and cooling, heating and cooling, heating and cooling. And before too much longer, the mortar quickly cracks, and then water gets in behind the mortar and into the roof void there as well. Okay, so you may well see with a pair of binoculars, actually, that is the problem, that there's a mortar fillet around the chimney breast, and therefore it needs to be replaced with lead or proper lead work. And it may well be that the easiest solution here is to go and ask a local builder for a quote to put flashing in around the chimney breast to do a proper job, and also to inspect the roof space to see if there's any issues with further water ingress causing additional problems. Okay, depending upon costs here, Charles, a difficult one to give you any kind of steer on in terms of costs. I don't know how big the property is that you're looking at buying. If it was a sort of 2-bedroom terraced house, you might be looking at sort of £400 or £500 to have some flashing installed, lead flashing installed around the chimney breast there. The main bulk of that cost, of course, is access to the property, and if somebody's got to hire a scaffold platform to get up there, and then ladders to do that repair work, that can obviously be quite expensive. So that's the unknown quantity. If it's anything more extensive, i.e. water has been getting in for a long period of time and it's started to affect roost timbers, you could be into a few £1,000s. So get some quotes from a good builder, get some quotes from a timber and damp company, and then once you've got that information, you can then go back to the estate agent and who will then go back to the seller, see if you can do anything on the price and start to bring that back down again, because you need to cover this extra work that your survey has found. All right, so I hope that helps, Charles. Any questions or concerns on that, or anything else you want some further guidance with, please do let us know. But thanks again for your question. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of today's webinar. Thank you so much indeed for joining us, as always. We're here the same time, same place every week, doing this, answering your property questions as much as we possibly can in the time that we have available. So you can send your questions through to us via email, which is happytohelp@wiggywam.co.uk. That's happytohelp@wiggywam.co.uk. You can also go to our website, which is wiggywam.co.uk. That's wiggywam.co.uk. You can set up a free profile on WiggyWam. You can access an entire catalogue now of blogs, broadcast, news articles, all sorts of things that can help you with your moving journey, including an entire video training suite put together by myself that will guide you through the entire process of finding, viewing, offering on, and buying your next property. Okay, that's an incredible amount of value that we've crammed into that video training suite there. You can also send your questions to us via Twitter. Twitter handle is @WiggyWam_UK. So that's @WiggyWam_UK. And we'll look forward to answering your questions on a future webinar very soon. And if there's anything else that we can do to help or support you in your moving journey, please do let us know. We're here to help. We're here to serve. We're here to do our very best to look after you in your moving journey. And we'll look forward to seeing you on a future webinar very soon. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining me today, and bye for now.